What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Got a sweet Selesnya standard list for you. So this is kind of a redo of a Spider tribal deck that I made last standard. But in this one we have a new Spider in the form of Glowstone Recluse. So Glowstone Recluse is of course a 3-mana 2/3 Spider. It can mutate for 4, and whenever it mutates, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So that's a pretty sweet ability. Get your spiders nice and big. So obviously the spiders have kind of low power and high toughness, so we're using Huatli to kind of turn that into an advantage, because each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and we can -3 to gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures we control. So of course other spiders we have here are the Chainweb Aracnir, which is a pretty fantastic 1-drop. 1/2 reach of course, and whenever it enters the battlefield deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying and opponent controls, and you can escape it for 5 mana. Comes back with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. That's pretty sweet. Running Flourish here for a little bit of fixing here. Search for a basic forest or plains, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. And of course, you top deck in the late game, you'll probably have 6 mana open to play the Flourish side and give your creatures +2/+2 until end of turn. So all of your little underpowered spiders now become real threats. Glass Casket to deal with any early aggression on our opponent's side. We do have some nice toughness, but there's definitely creatures you want to get rid of, like Priest of Forgotten Gods, Knight of Evil and Legion, and things like that. And so that's what the Glass Casket is there to help out with those matchups. Also have the Essence Symbiote here, since we are running a mutation sub-theme with our spiders, because obviously the Glowstone Recluse mutates, so Essence Symbiote fits in perfectly with that. Of course, 2/2 for 2 mana, and whenever any creature we control mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and we gain 2 life. So of course the Recluse mutates and gets 2, and the Symbiote says it gets an additional 1, so that's 3 +1/+1 counters, and the life gain, that's pretty fantastic. So Snarespinner here is our 2-drop spider, so 1/3. Whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. That's pretty fantastic. And we also have just the 2 copies here of a Netcaster Spider. Wanted to run all 4 Glowstone Recluse and of course all 4 Huatli, so they just kind of left room for 2 copies here of the Netcaster, which is a 2/3 for 3 mana, and when it blocks a creature to fly, it also gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And some additional removal here in the form of Conclave Tribunal. And then for our mutation effects, we have 4 copies of Cubwarden. So we are mostly green, but we do have things like, of course, Flourish, and the Temples that can help us get to double white. Of course, you can just play it down for 4 mana as a 3/5 lifelinker, which is pretty reasonable as well. Obviously, the high toughness works fantastic with Huatli. And whenever it mutates, we get 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with a lifelink. Gemrazer is our final mutation here. It's, of course, a 4 mana 4/4 retrample. It mutates for 3. Whenever it mutates, destroy an artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. And of course, it's fantastic. There are tons of artifacts and enchantments you'll want to deal with in the current standard. And then our last spider here is, of course, Arasta, another personal favorite of mine, 3/5. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, you get a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. So that works pretty fantastic against sort of spot removal and things like that. So going over our mana base here, since our curve does stop at 4, and we don't need more lands beyond that, kept the mana base pretty tight, so we're just down to 22 lands, since we do have the Flourish kind of help fix a little bit. So we have 5 plains, 9 forest, all 4 temple gardens, and all 4 temple of plenties. Alright, so the sideboard, of course, not really sure what's going to happen with the bans as of yet, but it's the sideboard to deal with standard as it currently exists. So we of course have the Grafdigger's Cage and Soul Guide Lantern, which are kind of musts. Drannith Magistrate as well to kind of deal with companions, and also works against escape. 2 Banishing Lights to deal with any non-land permanents, so if Glass Casket doesn't seem appropriate for the matchup, you can just bring in some Banishing Lights. Luminous Broodmoth for the sweeper-based matchups, as a 3/4 flyer for 4 mana is pretty reasonable. And then whenever any creature you control without flying dies, return to the battlefield under its own control with the flying counter on it. So all of our spiders, of course, do not have flying, so they will all come back to the battlefield if our opponent sweeps us. If we have a Luminous Broodmoth out, and especially if we've mutated, then they will come back separately, so that's pretty reasonable. And Nylea here, since we are mostly green, she works pretty well. So it's a 5/6 indestructible. As long as your devotion to green is less than 5, Nylea isn't a creature. However, creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and then you can pay 3 to reveal the top card of your library. And if it's a creature card, you put it in your hand. Otherwise, you can choose to put it into our graveyard. So Nylea works really well against kind of creature-based matchups. You might do a little bit of a board stall. just having a 5/6 indestructible can kind of help you dig for additional creatures and help give you the creature advantage in those matchups is fantastic. Same thing here with Vivien Arkbow Ranger. So again, since we are mostly green, I think it's fine running here Vivien here as a 3 green and 1 planeswalker. She makes our spiders bigger with the +1, giving 2 +1/+1 counters among up to 2 target creatures and giving them trample until end of turn. And we can also use the -3 to deal damage to a creature or planeswalker on our opponent's side. And then Tristani here, just kind of another way for us to deal with kind of board stalls with other creature-based matchups to kind of give our creatures that much more oomph and go a little bit wider by instantly making 2 1/1 soldiers with lifelink. So that is the deck here, and we'll jump into some best of 3 and see what we can do. Alright, against Clack. Whew, that's a lot of lands. I guess this is better. Keep and drop a planes. So we have Spider on 1, no 2-drop, and then 3 we can Huatli or Gemrazer. Arachnir's Guildgate. Okay, attack for 1. Mardu, Dreadhorde Invasion. Well, it's a good thing we got some of these guys. I'll take that over. Swinging for 4. I'm sure they have some removal here though. Nothing else, we'll just drop Huatli. Top. Blood Asphalt. It's kind of a sacrifice build. We want to make sure we get another creature down, so if they do force us to sack a creature, we'll at least have some options. Just play this down as a 2/3. It's like a Mardu sacrifice deck with a budget mana base. Alright, Witch's Oven, everybody's favorite card. Alright, we'll go ahead and mutate. Take that over, get a bunch of counters, go to the oven. You can activate it if you want. We have trample. There you go, get a counter. Lose your oven. 10 damage, trampling through. You can block 2, take 9. Take it all. Wow, what a champ. So they can sacrifice this to gain some more life. So they gain 3, make this a 3/3, but that's how they deal with these tramples. Alright. So we'll drop the Cubwardens for the Mothra since they're going to have a bunch of removal. I'm assuming they have Cat. So we might just shave those off. We kind of need these for our fixing though, so it's a little iffy. We'll drop the symbiotes maybe. Try Grafdigger's Cage to prevent the cat shenanigans. Tristani's okay. Maybe we'll bring in the Banishing Light, just it's a little cheaper. If they have a bunch of sacrifice effects to deal with our board. I'd rather just have the Banishing Light maybe. And do we want Trostani in this matchup? Let's let us go wider if they're going to force us to sacrifice a bunch of things. Not sure what we dropped to make room for it, so we'll just hold off on that. Especially at 5 mana, it's a little bit steep. So definitely want these all 4 Gemrazers. They came in pretty clutch. Okay, so we have the Glass Casket. Double Plains is a little awkward, but I'm sure we'll find some green mana here. Okay, Rakdos Guildgate yet again. Since we do the 1-drop, we'll go and drop out, run out our Aracnir. If I do here, we'll just either go for another Spider or a Glass Casket. So I definitely want to go to that before it starts getting big. Especially before they drop a Witch's Oven. So next turn we'll Grafdiggers and Snarespinner. And if we find some land here soon, Shocking In. Okay, what do you got for 3 mana, Judith? Dreadhorde Invasion and Disfigure. We'll Snarespinner. And Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, not sure what the Shocking In was for. If they had Shock or Disfigure, they could have easily taken out our Spider. And do we Arasta here, or do we Cubwarden? I mean, I feel like they have removal, so let's just drop off the Arasta. Resolved right away. Still no removal from our opponent, so a little curious. Alright, hopefully we can get this Cubwarden mutated so we can get a couple 1/1s. If they do kill something in response, that's fine. We'll still get a 3/5 lifelinker. And we have the Scry here with the Temple of Plenty. Well, let's go for it. Okay, that resolved right away. The mutation triggers. Just swing all. If they have some kind of buff spell, then so be it. So Scry with the Temple of Plenty. Probably don't want to overextend if we find more creatures. Symbiote is nice, but I think I'd just rather find something a little more oomph. Either Gemrazer or a Cubwarden would be nice. Maybe a Huatli. We're making these 1/1 tokens every turn. Having Arasta out is nice because we'll get some value off of that. Unless they're running artifact enchantment removal. Consume. Yeah, I think we'll have to lose Arasta, unfortunately. Another land. Okay, well, we'll swing all. I'd rather have the Cubwarden, of course, with a lifelink and potential to mutate. So they want to trade tokens. Go down to 4. Make sure we play the tap land. And we are flooding pretty hard. Huatli is good as long as they don't wipe our board here. So I think we'll keep it. 4 cards in hand. All said. Okay, so they're effectively at 4 life. And good. Oh, it's Huatli. Okay, they have some kind of instant. Combat. And swing all. See what they're holding up here. Could have just been the pause, could have just been for the Alsaid sacrifice. We're looking at our artifacts here. Block, sacrifice, that'd be your best play here. Yep, so they keep their army token, they prevent the damage and life gain, but yeah, we still have lethal here. Oh yeah, math is for blockers, so hey. Alright, we got there. It's a pretty fun little spider brew. Let's see if we can jump into one more. Alright, up against Avocado. I mean, we can mutate all three of these. I guess we'll keep. If our opponent is playing some enchantments, just nice juicy targets. Temple here on 2. Hopefully scry into something that's not a land. White, go. Oh, Symbiote's pretty good though. Let's run out the Symbiote. And we can mutate starting next turn. Perfect. Okay, 3 planes and still no plays yet. Eidolon of Inspiration. Yeah, we'll mutate onto our 1/2, I guess. Next turn we can mutate onto the Symbiote. Oh, that was an enchantment creature, didn't even notice that. Never seen that card before. Well, not never, but just not played against it. So some kind of mono-white enchantments. Elspeth Devotee. Okay, so it's just like a mono-white planeswalker, Elspeth planeswalker deck. I believe she's 6 mana. No, 5. Alright, she is not an enchantment. But I think we Cubwarden here. We'll do it on the Symbiote. Alright, they can block Cubwarden, but we're going to kill their creature, gain 4. And this is Trample. You want to block the Cubwarden if you're going to block something. Oh. Okay, opponent's down to 6. Let's go for land. They can Elspeth. And search for a Sunlit Hoplite. I don't remember if that's an enchantment creature or not. But they're pretty far by at this point. We're up to 28 and they're all the way down to 6. 1 for Flying Hero of the Winds. Yeah, let's just close it up. Auto pays, tapping lands, perfect. Let's not give him any opportunity to climb back into this. And there we go. Alright, so that was pretty fantastic with those Gemrazers right on cue. Huh, it's a mono white deck. And they don't have some. They don't really do much until what, turn 3? So Glass Casket is okay. Maybe we just want like some Viviens to help us go bigger. If they're not running too much in the way of instant sorceries, maybe Nylea makes sense. I don't like taking out spiders, but still want to be smart about it. Cubwarden help us go wide, and Gemrazer. Alright, we'll just leave in one Arasta since we are Spider Tribal. And could bring in Banishing Lights, but I think we'll just do it like that. Conclave Tribunal should be enough removal. Kind of overpowered them pretty well that game, so we'll see. One land. All the lands. I think we'll keep and drop the temple. So Aracnir, and then next turn we can flower, I guess. Huatli, that's pretty good. Alright, we'll attack for one. Play the tapped land, and let's go ahead and flower, thin the deck a little bit. Let's see, so we have all the green we need. Let's just grab a second white source for our potential Cubwarden. And now we have 3 and 4 lands for these two, so we're in a decent spot. We're still a little ways from Devotion though. And there's a 3-1, second Huatli. No reason to activate. If they attack in, we'll definitely take that block. And we'll just drop Nylea here, I think, regardless of what they do. And just 7 loyalty, as long as we just kind of leave her alone, then I don't think they can do too much to her here. They are running mono white, so it could be some kind of a enchantment removal, but they have removal for our creature, so they get a Huatli for 3. We have another one, so that's fine. I think we just want to be mana efficient here and run out Nylea at 4 mana. Second Huatli doesn't really do us any good at this in this spot. Symbiote. So again, no reason to do anything here. Next turn, if they do kill our Huatli, we can play another one and drop a Symbiote. We have mana to Symbiote and activate Nylea, so we'll see what they do here. All the Leonin of the Lost Prides. Okay. So they got a pretty good attack here. Drop Huatli down to 1. Now it's Scry first, I guess. Arasta's okay. She will help with our devotion. So yeah, I think we'll keep that there and then draw into it with our Nylea. I mean, they've been attacking our Planeswalker and not us, so they can finish Huatli, attack for 6, which is pretty brutal, but we do have the Symbiote to potentially gain us some life back. So these 3-1s are a little annoying, but we do have some ways to catch it back up into this. You're running a monocolor deck and you are manually tapping your lands. Yeah, they flash in at sorcery speed. Gotta love it. Wow, they are going off here. So that's 5, 10, 14. They spent all that time thinking about that. Now they have to spend all this time thinking about their attacks. I think we were all new players at some point. Magic is a complicated game. They don't. Wow. So they have 5 at me and 5 at Huatli. We could trade. I think I'd rather try to gain some life back though. Well, it's not really doing too much for us, so activate. And Conclave Tribunal is a decent draw. So that costs 3. Nylea is now a creature. And yeah, let's get rid of that 4/3. So autopay taps our 2 lands, our spider, which is enchanted, and just our 2/2. So that seems pretty reasonable. And yeah, let's attack. And they do take the block, so they're a little getting scared of our board state in right aways. When it was getting pretty scary there. Suddenly we have quickly turned the tide. But they still have cards in hand, and we just have a Huatli here. Exile our Flourish. We don't really care about our own graveyard, so they can exile anything they want. We're not doing anything with our own. Okay, they're eyeing our Conclave Tribunal and Arasta. So they have some kind of enchantment-based removal of their own, it looks like. Nylea is a good target too. Okay, so Nylea can no longer attack or block. Temple Garden.
Our destiny is greater than ever.
So we can still use her abilities, it's just can't attack or block. Alright, we'll swing 5. They blocked last time, so I'm assuming they would block here. And they do. And we'll pay the life so we can activate Nylea. Just want to leave Huatli nice and healthy here. We're down to 13, so we might want to consider gaining 6 life at some point, but on an empty board, there's no reason to rush into it. We still have the Symbiote here to gain us some life. Okay, Hero of the Winds. I'll go ahead and activate. Definitely don't need more lands. There's a Chainweb Aracnir. This is not a enchantment, so I'm going to do some damage there. We'll swing 5 here. And we'll definitely want to mutate the Gemrazer though, even though there's no targets, I think. Or maybe we just save it for next turn. Actually, we do have... If we play the Gemrazer, we cannot activate. Let's go ahead and gain some life, just in case they do have a board wipe or something. And we'll hold on to the Gemrazer for some removal, and that way we have an activation on Nylea. Alright, so the board is clear once again. So once again, they're manually tapping, even though they have all planes. And Daxos, okay. So that is a nice Gemrazer target. Looks like they have maybe an aura to attach onto it. Another one of those indomitable wills. Oh, Daybreak Chimera. 3/3 flyer. Get some life with Daxos. And we'll activate Nylea and try to find some mutations. Alright, there we go. So we'll mutate the Symbiote. This is not doing much here as a 2/2, so we'll get some value off of it. So we'll get rid of Daxos. And let's mutate again, and we can actually get rid of one of their dreadful apathies. Yeah, we'll take the over. Now Nylea can do her thing again as a creature. and swing all. They block the Chainweb, we'll bring this in and it'll fight it for the 3rd point of damage. But they might just want to block Nylea here to prevent the most damage. We'll see what they do. They know we have it, so. But they're a newer player. Or it appears that way. So they might not be thinking about all that. And the Aracnir finishes it off. And we'll just leave it right there. We're already at 29 now, so we're in good shape. And they draw land. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, it was a pretty nice showing from our deck, showing the nice resiliency and the power of mutations. You get to exile our Spider. And yeah, we'll just crash in for lethal. Get him down to -18. Alright, so yeah, not the most competitive deck, but it's a nice, fun, casual deck. Spider Tribal. I know a lot of you guys out there definitely enjoyed these kind of janky tribal brews that often are overlooked, and I definitely enjoy them as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and remember, until next time, jank with a purpose.